We'll call the meeting to order. Welcome to the January 16th Lee Select Board meeting. First item on the agenda is approval of minutes of December 19th, 2023.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the open session minutes from December 19th, 2023 as written.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving on, we have a public hearing for the...
Can I ask a point of order?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman? I think that our minutes are supposed to be from the meeting of January 2nd.
Yep.
I know it's posted wrong here, so maybe we'll just have to put, because our minutes already said we already did this before, but
okay.
why don't we just wait and we can do that at the next meeting, we'll catch up.
Okay.
But I don't want to lose track of
If we have
these.
to approve this set of minutes.
Well, I'm just saying, that's what was
Fine.
posted on our
Yeah,
agenda, and
yeah.
I don't want to
That's
goof
what,
that
yeah,
up.
that's how I read it.
Yes, you already approved 12/19.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think we should switch it because it wasn't on the agenda. In other words, this date was on our agenda if somebody
Okay.
wanted,
Yeah.
so I think if we just put it on the next meeting,
Got it.
then, so we don't lose track, that'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Gordon.
Yeah,
Thanks
no
for
problem.
catching that.
Yep,
Moving on, public hearing for an application for a new annual wine and malt package store license from Lipton Incorporated, doing business as Lipton Mart, number 605 at 1140 Pleasant Street. Michael Lipton is the manager. And we have Michael here.
Yep, I'm here.
Mike, do you have any comments before we begin our discussion, or?
This will be our fourth wine and malt license in Massachusetts, and we have a pretty stringent policy with training when we hire all of our retail employees. So just as a point of reference, but no, other than that, I have nothing else to add as we start.
Everybody got a chance to look through the packet?
did, yes.
Any discussion?
I have, I think, one question, one comment. Are your employees, when you're mentioning your employees, are they required to have any other kind of certification, or you as the manager are the only one that has to worry about that? As far as sales, minors, and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, all of our employees are required to not just have tobacco training, but they have alcohol training for sales. We have a video onboard process that gets everybody that is hired. So all of our retail employees go through the training.
Okay, great. The only other comment I would make is on our original package, we had a floor plan that didn't seem to be the appropriate floor plan. So
Yeah, did you get the
Yes.
updated one?
I did, thank
Okay.
you. And what I'm going to
I
ask,
apologize about that.
sorry, I'm just going to ask the chair if we could, just for the record, when we make our motion to, if we make our motion to approve, just to note that this floor plan is the one, and I wrote on it the date, January 16th, 2024, amended floor plan, Lipton Mart, number 605, annual wine and malt purchase store license 1140 Pleasant Street. I just made a designation so we know what we're voting on, and this is what you sent down is going to be what goes to the alcohol
Sure.
commission, okay? As long as you're good with that.
Yeah, of
and the
course.
board's good with that, we'll supplement and replace that other document you sent down.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry about the confusion there.
Yeah, no problem.
So unless there's something else, I'd entertain a motion to approve the license.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the annual wine and malt package store license for Lipton Mart, number 605, which is actually Lipton Inc. Here, with the replacement of this floor plan with the one that was submitted to us.
I would second that.
Is there any further discussion?
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Anybody in the public?
Yeah.
I know we didn't do that, but
Yeah.
Motion,
Just
the
in case.
hearing. so
Anybody
if
have a
anybody-
comment? Seeing none, hearing none? All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Aye. You're all set, Mike.
Great. Thanks very much, guys. Have a good night. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we now have a public comment period. What do you know?
Well, good evening, everyone.
Hello.
I'll leave Youth Commission. The Lee's second Saturday Gym Nights Minute to Win It Challenge on Saturday, January 13th was a great success. There were 16 children and 16 adults participating in this event. The next event will be held on Saturday, February 10th. Stay tuned for more information. We're not delving that out yet. Also, 13 volunteers joined us to build the skating rink at the park on Main Street on Sunday, January 14th. A huge thank you goes to the volunteers, the Lee DPW, the Lee Fire, and South Lee Fire Departments. Unfortunately, the ice has not formed yet. It's only about 1 inch done. Please check the town website and/or the Lee Youth Commission's Facebook page to confirm that it's safe to skate. Until then, please do not interfere with the process of ice forming for skating. We'll be glad to let you know that the ice is fine and you don't have to be digging in to see, if you can skate. Thank you. Do you have any questions for me? Yeah. Okay, thank you. It's finally, yeah, except next week's supposed to warm up again. So, oh well. We'll see what happens. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Any other public comment? Seeing none, moving on to general business.
Do you want to go to Andrea next for the bus stop? Do we want to handle that now or wait till?
I was going to wait till could not reasonably anticipate, but we can do it.
It's just a suggestion.
Is that on here?
It's not on the agenda.
No, it's
It
not.
came up, that's why I was gonna give her the chance when she was here, if you're.
Yeah, we can do that, Andrew.
No, I don't know, she only brought one coffee. I'm kind of wondering why we should take her out of order. There you go.
Thank you for taking
Sure.
this, I guess it's public comment, but I sit as your representative to the Berkshire Regional Transit Board, and they would like to adjust an express route. So when I originally wrote it, I thought we were talking about Route 2. Route 2 staying the same, so this is an additional route, and they would like to, instead of taking a right onto 7A and going down in through Stockbridge, they would like to take a left and stay on 7, or stay straight, and come down into Lee, and then take a right at Main Street and go up West Park to Stockbridge. So, yep. And so it's a little change. What they would like, though, they're requesting is a sign for the bus stop that they will buy and erect, if you all agree, and also the place for the bus stop, like the actual safe place. They would love to have it where it was before, which was in front of Dresser Hall, McClellan's, I'm dating myself, or maybe near the Price Chopper entrance. They're flexible. They just need, the other side is okay because they're picking up people on the park. It's just going down. And then they'll reverse the route and come back the same way. So that would, right now you have Route 2 or route, I was looking at it, Route 2, and this would be an addition.
There's a bus stop in that general area forever.
Yes.
Yes.
So any discussion on this, or do you want to make a motion?
Mr. Chair, I assume they want to know tonight,
well, yeah.
not February 6th. Okay, because
We can wait until February 6th if you would like us.
No, the only thought is just to bounce it off the business that's there and a couple of, because if we're, now they're used to having parking places right in front.
Right.
At least to not read about it in the paper, but we could reach out and just notify them that
Sure.
the board is considering this, because I don't have a problem with it. I think it's great. The more bus availability that we can give our folks downtown, the better.
Yes.
So I'm all for it. I just know, do you think we need to worry about notification or just do it?
If it's not pressing, it probably just would be.
We are willing to do whatever works for the board. Yep. So we're happy to wait, and I can come back on the
We can just
6th.
put it on the agenda
Or,
for the 6th.
yeah, if we put it on the agenda for the 6th, at least we could reach out to the owner of that in the Morgan House and and that whole strip there. You know, just say, look, we're gonna put the bus stop, and that's our consideration. Is it a major inconvenience? Because a lot of times the spots are empty anyway.
Right.
And what times a day would these buses run? Andrea?
That, I'm not sure. When I'm looking at
Okay.
this, the outbound routes depart Pittsfield, and of course it makes a round route, 5:30 AM, 7:30 AM, 5:30 PM, 7:30 PM.
So we'll have quite a few routes that'll
They're
actually
quick
come down
ones,
here.
they don't.
That's okay, but they're at least 4 times.
Yes, yes.
At least, okay, well, that would be good. Because I know we have a lot of employees who try and get to work somewhere and whatnot, or want to get delivered to Lee.
Right,
So that's all, no,
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea, but I just think it would be polite to
sure.
let folks know. And so if anybody wants to say no or complain, let them have a chance, but
Absolutely.
I would think that this would be an excellent addition to our bus routes downtown, so.
It's nice to have exposure in Lee. Gives people
there you go.
access to get to their work, and
Yeah.
Laurel Lake is on it, you know, so it's
Yeah, I
nice.
see that,
Yeah.
so. I don't know, that would just be a suggestion.
Yeah, I think so. So I don't think we need a vote on it. We'll just agree
Yeah.
to put it on the February 6th
Yeah.
agenda.
Sure.
Okay, wonderful, thank you so much.
Thank you.
The fact that West Park Street's restricted to heavy commercial.
West Park, well, I don't know what size this bus is. It could be a
I
small
think they're the
bus.
smaller ones.
Smaller buses?
They're the
Smaller
small-
buses, yeah.
Express, yep. Yep. I will double check though that.
That would wind up the neighbors a little bit.
Okay,
It could. No, it's a good point,
all right.
Mr. Dunn.
Well, and I think that for that reason, it makes sense for us to post
Yeah.
it and
Yeah.
deal it as an agenda item rather than,
Well, you could also check back with the BRTA.
yeah.
Yep.
know, So, just to make sure
Perfect.
they know that could be a problem, could be problematic.
Okay, talking to Bob now.
All right, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you so
All right.
much, thank
Good
you.
enough, yep. I wonder if, like it's quasi-governmental, I wonder if that would make a difference too. You know, on a
Exempt,
heavy,
right,
yeah.
you know, I don't know, we'd have to,
You know,
yeah, we'd have to look into
it's
that.
really not commercial, it's municipal then, or
It,
public.
yeah, public, more quasi-public, so, yeah, so it may not matter, but this gives us a time a couple weeks to get it figured out.
Perfect, thank you.
Super, thank you. Thanks for taking your time to go to these meetings and do this stuff, so that's all good. Yeah, it's all good.
Okay, so under general business, we have a couple of appointments. Patrick Rooney is an alternate member of the Board of Public Works, and a per diem firefighter / EMT, Mia Francisconi.
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we appoint Patrick Rooney to the Board of Public Works as an alternate.
Yeah, I'd second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I would be more than pleased, given the glowing recommendation that Mia has from Chief Brown, I'd make a motion that she be hired as a per diem firefighter EMT.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, moving on, we sign a letter. Gordon, we want it on you for this. I'm going to recuse
Yeah,
myself from this.
sure.
We signed an MOU for Green Theory.
Sure. So what we have in front of us now is a memorandum of understanding with Green Theory, which is Aruna doing business as Green Theory. That's the manufacturing licensee down on Route 102. And what this is a memorandum of understanding, sets forth terms and understanding between the town of Lee and Aruna, who is the marijuana and entrepreneur down there. The town entered into a host agreement, a community agreement, including a 3% impact fee based on recent CCC regulation changes, that's the Cannabis Commission. The town seeks to amend the agreement. This MOU outlines a fee schedule that eliminates the HCA incrementally in order to fund a school resource officer and mitigate ongoing odor issues. So what it would amount to is that for tax fiscal year 2023, the amount of $79,342, which would be their part, would be set aside toward the engineering and odor mitigation issues. I think it's pretty obvious if it doesn't cost that much that we'd get the balance back. 2024 fiscal year, school resource officer, Their contribution will be $35,263. In fiscal year 2025, this for the school resource officer, $17,631. But then by the time we get to 2026, everything's down to zero. Now what this does is it balances out what we expect to get from the other marijuana institutions so that they're all on an equal footing. The duration, this MOU may be modified by mutual consent of town officials and all MEs, marijuana establishments. This MOU shall become effective upon signature by the authorized officials from the town of Lee and will remain in effect until modified or terminated by unanimous consent. In the absence of mutual agreement by the authorized official, this MOU shall end on January 1st, 2026. Any discussion?
Well, I'd make a motion that we, the board allow for you to sign this, motion or memorandum of understanding between the town of Lee and, Aruna, Green Theory.
Okay. I'll second that. Does anybody have any questions or comments before we go to a vote? Okay. You're kind of doing this, Kat.
I am,
No.
because I don't understand
Yeah.
what's gonna happen with our resource officer.
Yeah, well, you want to come up and I'll ask that so everybody hears you, and then I will tell you exactly where we're at,
Okay,
what's happening.
so my concern, first of all, I
Yes.
don't quite understand all of this, but from what I understand, I see a decline in money
Yes,
for the resource officer at our schools.
right.
And that bothers me because it is so much needed in the times that we're in.
So
And-
let me
Yeah,
let you rest at
Okay.
ease just for a moment. While this just takes the money from the marijuana facilities to put toward it, the reason it's going incrementally is because we're taking the balance of what's needed to fund that position out of regular taxation. We always knew we were gonna have to move over to have it covered by the tax rolls, the town taxation. We always knew it was just a transition. We've already started that transition in the budget for this next year. We still need the 3 marijuana places to pitch in a little bit, rather than to have it hit the tax rolls in 1 year. All the different things, we're spreading it out over 3 years. But we're not losing the school resource officer.
well, I think everybody knows my position about all this
Oh, yeah.
marijuana stuff
Yeah, I
in
do.
this town.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Because I've never been in favor of it.
Right.
I often wonder what happened to all the research that says the marijuana leads to other drugs, because there was years and years of research, but I'm not going to question it now. But I just don't understand why they're making so much money, the marijuana industry making so much money, and taxpayers are still putting money into something that is so much needed for our children.
Well, for one thing, we're going to talk about this another time too, in just a few minutes, actually, is that the Cannabis Commission, Control Commission, has totally changed the rules. If you want to see a classic issue of bait and switch, this is it. This is bait and switch from the Cannabis Commission. Everything they promised all the towns in the Commonwealth, that you were going to get this much money, you're going to do this and that, it's all thrown out the window.
And we,
So you can talk to your legislators as to why they allowed this to happen and how they allowed this to happen, because I don't have an answer.
Yeah.
But that's where the problem lies,
right,
with our legislation, the governor, and the Cannabis Commission changing all the rules. And we have to live by them. Actually, we have, if anybody that's listening, or Kathy, if you want to know about this, we actually they have a recorded seminar that the Mass Municipal Association put on. Chris can send you the link. I have the link at
Okay.
my house. I could always send it to you.
Okay,
but,
that would be very
when you sit
helpful.
through it, it kind of makes you sick
yeah.
when you see what the Cannabis
Yeah,
Commission is
because
doing.
that's so sad.
Yeah.
That with all the money they're bringing in.
Yeah, right.
And what may or may not be happening to the people that are using
Yes,
this
oh,
product.
yeah,
Have no clue. That we're still ending up paying for stuff. Yeah,
Well, I'm
so-
just trying to give you a little history of what
Okay,
just
thank
went
you.
on in the last year,
Yeah,
and we're stuck with it.
okay,
It can be confusing too, because this is a understanding over the host community agreement.
Right.
Which is like, that handles the impact fees.
Right.
Whereas there's the other side where the town gets we get a tax on the.
Right.
The overall sales of the facility.
Right.
So there's two different sort of aspects. This is just addressing the community agreements that
right.
we've entered into, and so that we have that understanding between us and the facilities, so that they can't come back for us, you know,
Right.
for some of this money when
Right.
the rules change in their favor, that's what Gordon's
Yeah,
is
it's
describing, which is
Well,
happening.
I'll be checking that
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, and also basically, you might as well take any host community agreement and throw it away if you're
Yeah.
thinking about the future, because basically the Cannabis Commission's taking it away.
Yeah.
They're not gonna let you leverage money from anybody anymore, other than whatever's in the law already, 3% of gross possibly.
Okay.
And then, yeah, well, they changed all the rules. And not only that, if you do want to enter a host agreement and the marijuana facilities don't like it, they can appeal to the Cannabis Commission, and we don't have a say.
Okay.
Cannabis Commission gets to decide whether it's good,
Yeah.
bad, or indifferent, and then, you know, we're out of it.
Yeah,
So that's, I
Yeah.
find this to be a little problematic.
right. And you know, it's sad because we were forced to have so many facilities, whether it was for retail or manufacturing or whatever. So we, as a community, were forced to do that, or they were just gonna tell us where all this stuff was gonna go versus having no say. That's
Well,
not the
hold on,
Democrat.
hold on to your horses, because we're about to talk about that very
Okay.
thing with the planning board.
Thank you.
All right, all right.
Thanks.
So we're not done talking about marijuana facilities yet. All right, so we have a motion on the floor that's been seconded. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor of signing this MOU?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Bob. Is this still?
you.
Okay.
Now we're on.
I guess I'll keep going.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'll keep going, and we have a proposal to follow up on what you said, Kathy. And we currently have, the town by bylaw decided to have 20% of whatever our alcohol package store licenses are. We're gonna have that many retail marijuana places, which gave us 2. Okay? We also voted to have, there's a number of different kinds of marijuana licenses. There's a grower, there's manufacturing, there's, you know, a bunch of different things going on. And we have currently about to open another retail business. That's 3. And then they also have a manufacturing license, not a grower's license. They have a manufacturer. There's 4. We have, down on Route 102, we have someone with a growing and manufacturing, so there's 2 more. So I know the numbers here, we're gonna have to look at that, because maybe I misstated the one up here,
I think,
across from Laurel Lake.
actually, Gordon, it might,
Yeah.
you might be, you might be mistaken there, because
On
one
that
of
one.
their
Yeah.
one of their licenses might have lapsed, or they might
that
have
could
not
be.
pursued it, because I think
No.
I was talking to Chris about that.
Thanks, Sean.
The actual number of we can double check all that,
Yeah.
I think, but,
Yeah, they're right.
Because we have,
yeah,
okay.
okay.
Canna has a retail, Green Theory has cultivation and manufacturing.
Okay, so they do,
And Sweetgrass has retail and manufacturing.
yeah.
So that makes
So
5.
they do have, yes,
So that's
you're right,
5.
yeah.
Okay, because what we're about to discuss at this point is that we are, as a board of, select board, we are asking the planning board to hold a hearing to revise our cannabis section of the bylaw to read as follows, and then, yeah, we want to have a discussion with Buck. Well, here, yeah, come on up. So here's what we're proposing, and a letter,
You want to modify D2?
this says 199, 9.11, section D, subsection 2.
Yep,
Is that the correct section?
yep.
Okay.
This is the one, yeah.
And what our letter to the planning board, because if the select board asks the planning board to have a hearing to change the bylaw, by law, the planning board, whether they agree or not with us, they will have to have a hearing within a certain number of days, and then that hearing, their recommendation at that hearing will go before the town meeting, because we are going to put this on the annual town warrant. The bottom line is, we are asking to strike the word 14 licenses, all right? And insert, this says not to exceed 3, but I thought it was 5.
Well,
So
but
that's why I'm a little
that-
confused.
just to
That's
clarify.
non-retail.
Right, those are.
No, non-retail,
Those
you're
are
right.
the 3 non-retail
Non-retail.
that
So
we
we
have
already
already
have
issued.
4.
Right, yeah, so basically,
Hang on, just
Yep,
for,
go
just
for
for
it.
clarity, there's 2,
'Cause I was gonna read
there's 2
it.
retails we
There
have.
are, there are.
And there's 3, I thought there was only 3
I thought both had
non-retails.
grow and manufacture.
No,
No.
Canna did have a grow, but
What
they,
does
That
Green
lapsed.
Theory
Lapsed.
have?
green theory on 102,
Cultivation and manufacturing.
but up here they're retail and manufacturing, so
Okay,
they don't
so
have a
there's
grow
3.
license.
Right.
No, okay.
So we are looking
do
to
have the
change.
3 non-retail. Yeah.
So I want to read what we're sending to the board, to the planning board, so if you could hold just for a minute. We are going to be making a motion to ask the board to amend, the town to amend section 19-9.11, section D subsection 2 by striking out the word 14 and inserting the word 3. If adopted, the amended version shall read as follows. The total number of, designated number of marijuana establishments. The total number of marijuana retailers shall not exceed 20% of the number of licenses issued within the town for the retail sale of alcohol beverages not to be drunk on premise. Fractions of retailers shall be rounded up to the next whole number. And number 2, which is what we're asking to have modified, said the total number of non-retail MEs shall not exceed 14. We're asking to strike it and go to 3. In accordance with Mass General Law 48, Section 5, this amendment shall be forwarded to the planning board, who shall hold a public hearing within 65 days, and the amendment will be set to appear on the 2024 annual town meeting warrant. So that will be the letter that we will be sending to the planning board. So discussions before we make a motion. That's what you're here for.
Motive.
Motive, based on the fact that the Cannabis Commission has changed all the rules, and we don't find that there's any reason for us to go down this road anymore, where at first it looked like it was gonna be some windfall money for the town, employment, all that kind of stuff, and taxation money. And based on the fact that the Cannabis Commission appears to be able to not just change it substantially right now, but in the future, I guess they can do whatever they want to. So they may well just take away even the 3% that we're getting. And given the odor problem that we were promised wouldn't happen, personally, if I'm sitting on this board, I'll tell you now, I'll never, unless somebody really shows me they cannot have it smell, I would absolutely never allow I would not vote in favor of another manufacturer. They have a terrible track record.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the sticking point for me, is I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to go through that with another neighborhood. Say one of these grow-up facilities goes in on the other side of town, and now we've got another smell issue. And this, we're trying to work with this facility as best we can, and that's part of what was in that last memo that we just signed with them, or agreement that we entered it with them, is they put in a bunch of money that through the community agreement they were gonna pay the town. They're gonna put that back into this odor issue. So that's kind of, we're working through that with them, but I don't know if it'll work out in the long run. So that's
Okay.
kind of,
We may know by town meeting.
yeah.
Okay. I mean, because you guys are aware that there's 7 different licenses that are non-retail.
Right.
So some of them are transporter,
Right.
testing lab. So to limit it to 3, you're knocking those out. Research facility, which would be a non-odor issue. So basically, the problematic part is the cultivation and the manufacturer.
So are
So
they?
I was wondering, are they paying less taxes than in any other business?
Of course not.
Right.
So-
And they're a business. They're paying an extra 3% on their sales. I'm wondering why we're targeting those other ones. when the real concern is the odor. And we already can address that. You know, there is enforcement, there is part of the bylaw that doesn't enforce that.
And the Cannabis Commission has come out about the odor and pretty much taking it away from our town bylaws. Just so you know, you'll have to sit through this seminar that we listened to.
Okay.
It's scary what they're doing. So we can't, so in other words, in the future, it would be
I mean,
hard
it's
pressed to not allow one. Go
I mean,
ahead.
it's environmental, I find that really hard to believe that they would.
Yeah, you should sit through the seminar.
Then, I mean.
Well, during your
perhaps
hearings.
About the I mean,
Yeah.
is that end all be all 3? Or when we look at this as a planning board, can we designate out manufacturing cultivation? What do you think?
I would suggest that what you could do is schedule a hearing, but between now and when the hearing happens, you can get back to this board. We can always rewrite our letter if you guys haven't.
Okay.
That's why without a public hearing, put it on your agenda.
I've never seen this before.
Yeah, I know.
I've never done this before, so.
Right.
Is that, I mean, that wording we have to go with? Or
That's what we're gonna
are we-
send you at this time.
Are we allowed to modify it?
Well, let me put it this way.
When the hearing and the, information comes out?
I think there's time for discussion. So right now, this says within 65 days you have to hold a hearing. Okay, that's a long ways up. So what I would suggest is put on your agenda, regular planning board agenda, to discuss this.
Sure.
You can always get back to us and say, well, gee, what about we allow this, this, and this to happen, but not this to happen, and we can always, at the board's discretion, we can always, have that discussion with you and go back and say, oh, okay, those are pretty innocuous as far as detrimental to neighborhoods, not just odor, but there's other, traffic impacts and other things. They'd still have to have special permits for those.
Right.
So I'd say it's up to you guys, planning board, to plan. Talk to the, while we're still doing the master plan, you want to maybe even have them voice their opinion. Get back to us. We could always rewrite this. But
Okay.
we also have a deadline where we need you to have a hearing
Oh, yeah.
to make a recommendation before the May town meeting.
Yep.
So there is a little bit of a time frame here.
Okay.
Sorry to disagree with you slightly
Oh,
there.
go ahead, that's
Gordon,
all right,
but
go ahead.
I don't think this is a master plan issue.
Okay, well then, just keep it
I would-
planning. Well, I know they were talking about it.
Right.
They were talking about
At
it.
this point around the
Yeah.
country, it's another business. You know?
I do get that.
And every, we push, I mean, one thing that we, as rereading through ours, we kind of let the outdoor cultivation, there isn't much addressing that. And that might be something, if we're worried about smell, but it is covered. But you're saying if it,
Are you talking specifically about like facilities growing
Yes,
outdoor and not
outdoor.
just the public?
yeah, outdoor facilities, that, that would be, other than that one section we have on odor control, if Gordon is saying that that's pretty much
Yeah,
junk
it's gonna be
now.
hard to.
Outdoor you never would.
Right, well then we need that
But
suggestion
outdoor,
from the planning
we
board.
have other businesses that excrete odors
Right,
outdoor.
we have a right to farm bylaw that allows that.
We do,
And
do.
that's different than the cannabis
there's,
bylaw.
yep, that's
It
true.
is,
It is,
and for zoning purposes, remember
It
that
is
the
what-
legislature changed 40A, section 3, to say that you can't treat cannabis as agricultural, so they can't come
Correct.
back and go, oh, we're an
Yeah.
agricultural
No, I know
business, you
that one.
can't stop
Yeah.
us, so.
yeah, I mean, but
Yeah.
there's other,
Look forward to hearing from the planning
landscape
board.
areas, okay, okay,
See what you think.
all right, thank you.
All right, no, thank you.
Just wondering what our work was. We're kind of in a lull right now.
No, guess what? We gave you something to not be lulled about.
So,
the master plan's coming.
Yeah, there you go, that's true.
I'll make the motion that, the board initiate the following zoning bylaw, the planning board that is, initiate the following zoning bylaw amendment related to cannabis permits, amendment to amend section 199-9.11, section D, subsection 2, striking the word 14 and inserting the word 3, and then if adopted, that would read as you had read through that previously.
And would you allow the clerk to
And
sign?
I would allow the clerk to
right.
sign.
Well, I'll second that motion. Any other further discussion?
I would just say, I think for me, this sort of, if we were gonna bring this to a town meeting written like this, the idea would be, do people want to stop with the permits that we have now? Or would you like us to continue to issue under the 14 number that we arrived at further? I would be willing for a compromise that would, I'd be open to that, to target the cultivation and manufacturing, but if that's where it ultimately lands. But I think that as this was read by you and written, that's kind of the idea that we were going for.
I see what, yeah. A lot of those are just plain businesses.
Right.
It's,
And no
and that's
problem, yeah.
taxation, that's business growth. I think that's what we try to do and still keep our character of our town. A testing lab it'd be down in an industrial park somewhere. You'd probably never see it.
Right.
Yeah, or hear from it. And as far as traffic, the retail stores are your traffic problem. And doesn't seem as big a deal anymore.
And we're maxed out anyway.
New York, yeah, and we're maxed out with that. New York is opening up and it's just, the whole market is settling down. And was talking to a guy in the industry recently, and with a lot of them, it's a race to the bottom.
Yeah.
With the market's so saturated we probably won't, you're not gonna see the cultivation places fire up as much anymore. Perhaps, it's gonna be more, and in that is the small micro licenses that you could do, which would be very small places. It's gonna go back to the big breweries are going down.
Right.
And the
Exactly.
craft breweries coming around.
No, that's true. Well, look forward to hearing back from the planning board with suggestions, and we can always reconsider this. All right, well, thank you. And, all right, so we have any other comments? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote.
Aye.
Aye. All right. And Mr. Chairman, it goes back to you.
All right, thank you, Gordon and
Sure.
Sean.
Thank you.
Moving on, we need to sign a letter of support for the Lennox CDBG grant funds. What is CDBG?
Community Development Block Grant
Grants,
Funds.
right. So I guess they're looking for us to partner with another town. Lennox is the town.
Yeah.
And they're requesting $1 million for the rehab loans for Lee and Lennox for 16 homes owned by low to moderate income residents of Lennox and Lee. So basically, we're signing this to apply with Lennox for that grant money.
I think we've done this type of thing before, and it's actually gone very well. So I think it's a program well worth joining in on, and townspeople have made out very well with it. And there is a restriction on, getting your house fixed up and not selling it for a lot of money. I mean, there's some caveats that go with it to protect the town and everybody, so I think it's good.
So with that, I'll entertain a motion to sign the letter.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion that we sign off this letter to the Secretariat of Massachusetts Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities
Second.
for the CDBG grants.
All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving on. We're looking at the Berkshire Hills Baptist Church is looking for an inspection fee waiver, which we do on a regular basis.
Mr. Chairman, I'm just going to recuse myself because of the fee issue to do with the building department, so.
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we waive the fee for the Berkshire Hills Baptist Church for their inspection.
All right, I will second it. And any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. And we have application for a one-day alcohol license for the Lee Sportsman's Club.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion that we approve the one-day alcohol, this is alcohol beverage for the Lee Sportsman's Club.
I'll second that, and it's for February 4th?
February 4th.
Okay, yeah, I'll second that.
And it's for fundraising there, I don't know if you mentioned that.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, the road tolls. All right, we do this once a year. There are 7 weekends available for the road tolls out on Main Street. There's a February 28th deadline for applying. Memorial Day is out because that is reserved for the VFW. If any more than 7 groups apply, a lottery will be drawn. Anyone who does not receive a date this year will get first pick in order of date received this year, for next year, anyway. So any interested groups make their application before February 28th, and you might get a weekend for a road toll.
So we don't need a motion or anything like that, right? Just announcing?
Just announcing that, yep.
Okay.
All right. Any topic the chairman could not reasonably anticipate? We've got a couple of items, or at least a couple. We already dealt with Andrea and the bus.
Yeah.
Lee Youth Commission, a family skate night at the Lee Town Park. That would be on February 10th, beginning at 5:30 p.m., ending at 7 p.m.
Mr. Mar, Mr. Meyer, yeah. I'm not at town meeting yet.
I've been
Mr.
called
Chairman, well, yeah, I know, just the other day. Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion that we sign off on this special entertainment, one-day entertainment license.
Second.
Any further discussion?
There's no fee, correct? Okay, as long as there's no fee. That was my only comment.
No further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now, if it's 50 degrees, you probably won't do this, right, Kathy? Just checking with the weather the way it's gone, who knows? Yeah, that's true, we'll go swimming. All right, sounds like a plan. I didn't see anything else, but what's this?
Let's try this, yeah.
Oh, yeah, this. We're gonna do this and then we'll do it again if we have to.
Oh, yes, okay. Yes, right, from Rachel.
Yeah.
Okay, action is required in response to changes made to section 72 of Mass General Law 54. We're changing the, which now charges the select board rather than the person in charge of the police force with detailing a sufficient number of officers or constables for each polling location. I make the following motion.
You want me to make the motion?
Sure, yeah.
Unless we might have to do it again, but, Mr. Chair, I move to approve a sufficient number of police officers, but not less than 1, at the polling location at every election therein to preserve order and to protect the election officers and supervisors from any interference with their duties and to aid in enforcing the laws relating to elections as required by Section 72 of Mass General Law, Chapter 54, which was changed in Section 13 of Chapter 92 of the Acts of 2022. Further, move to designate the police chief the authority to assign specific police officers according to scheduling and availability. The town clerk will advise the police chief on the location and time the officer is needed. A yes vote will allow the police chief DeSantis to continue the staff the police location appropriately, and no vote will force the select board to make such staffing decisions. This letter references all 4 elections for 2024. This includes, but is not limited to, the state primary March 5th, the town election May 13th, the presidential primary September 3rd, and presidential election November 5th. I guess maybe that last paragraph wasn't part of the motion, but.
No, I think it should be. So, because it includes all
Oh,
those
true,
dates, so
yeah.
I'll second that, but for purposes of discussion, I think that's great. Because Sean, we catch them all, we don't have to do this again every time. So I think
Yeah.
I think you made the right way.
All right, is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great.
Did you do early voting too?
We didn't say anything.
Is that this one? Is that what this is here?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, you want me to, well,
Right, we did it for the first meeting, now we have to do it for this,
yeah.
Different dates this time.
different
Yeah.
dates this time.
And I guess this, for the state election, last time we didn't have to do weekend
Right.
voting, but for the state, you have to do one weekend day, I think, this time. So it's different, the rules were different for the state election.
Okay.
That's why there's a Saturday here.
Okay, do we have to read this, do you think, or?
I'll make a motion that based on the recommendation of the chief election officer, we recommend the following hours for early voting in person for the 2024 state primary to be Saturday, February 24th, 2024, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday, February 26th, 2024, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Tuesday, February 27th, 2024, from 1 a.m. I think it should probably be 1 p.m.
1 p.m., yeah.
1 p.m. to 5 p.m. I don't want to box her in all night. And Wednesday, February 28th, 2024, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Thursday, February 29th, 2024, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And Friday, March 1st, 2024, from 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. According to the state election advisory number 22-01 for a town with 0 to 4,999 voters. That's probably all we have to do, right?
Yeah.
Just set those dates.
Yeah, I'd second that.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Well, if we did it wrong, we'll
Have another
post
run.
another meeting and go again.
Okay. That's all I have at this point. Gordon, Sean, anything
I
else?
have nothing else.
All right, our next meeting is February 6th, 2024. Same time, same place. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.